Well, hello, friends. It's me. And I'm sure that by the title of this video, you've already guessed what we're about to get into. So I won't bore you with an incredibly long intro where I talk slowly just to piss you off. I'm sorry, this is more fun for me than it is anything. But either way, this is Chapter 3 of the Resistbeard saga. This is called The Date. So let's get right into this, shall we? There's a new character in this story, Ray. An acquaintance from high school. RB got in contact with him. They go to the same college as RB. So the rest are pretty much there. We already know who a lot of these people are. So let's get right to it, shall we? Also, if we don't know who these people are, there are three other videos in this series, just on my channel alone. This has also been posted to some other channels, but if you're not watching my videos, why? Also, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, Moonhorse, you're really dragging this out. This intro is taking a long time to get through. Yeah, I know, isn't it? It's almost like I did this on purpose. I'll stop. Let's get to the story. So, we all have secrets we'd rather take to the grave, right? Or rumors about us that are true but can't be proven. Well, Resistbeard, it turns out, have been looking at my username and real name and scouring the web for me. Oh, that's creepy. This led him to one of my acquaintances from high school, who just so happened to go to the same college as him. In high school, I was a bit of a delinquent, deep down, despite my calm and passive demeanor, and made some bad decisions. Namely, one year I borrowed a school laptop, Reed stole, and was caught. Why did I take it? To circumvent a punishment from my parents. I regret what I did, and felt truly sorry. I'd broken the trust of so many people, and it hurt for everyone involved. It was simply terrible. I'm lucky I only got off with a slap on the wrist, and the school didn't get the police involved or press charges. I have since bettered myself and turned over a new leaf. However, no matter how much one repents for a sin and becomes a better person, they can't erase the crime itself. The thing I did haunted me for the rest of high school. There were rumors about what I had done, despite the fact that the school faculty tried to keep it from getting out. Although there was some evidence, nobody could really ever prove it. Dude, I'm sure most of the people I know have done far worse in high school. Like just, random property destruction, burning things, just general. Don't worry about it. You're among friends. We're all delinquents here. So guess what this acquaintance of mine told Resistbeard? The rumors. They had told him all about the laptop theft rumors. I mean, again, if that's the worst that he can come up with, that's nothing. But I guess, to each their own. And some people don't really like that kind of stuff giving out. But personally, I think it could have been a lot worse, dude. I've always been scared of it getting out at a capacity where it's actually investigated. I don't know if the school would still deny that it happened. I'm scared of losing my job over this. I'm scared that people will think differently of me because of what I did, despite the fact that I'm a different person now than I was then. I mean, you were a kid when this happened, and that, records from juvenile don't really carry over into adulthood unless they're very serious crimes, and petty theft is not one of them. Just remembering this makes me ashamed of myself. I mean, it's fine, you were a kid, don't worry about it. I'll just be laying in bed and suddenly remember it, and it'll be an hour of just, you're so damn stupid, you hurt every teacher by doing that, you broke everyone's trust. Or I'll be doing something mundane, suddenly remember, and start beating myself up over it. It's one of those things that I just can't shake, just an insecurity that leads to a cycle of self-hatred. Ada, I don't really know what the best dizzy, I think, in some places. You don't really need to beat yourself up over this. Like, it was a long time ago. You were a kid. Everybody does stupid shit when you're a teenager. That's just, like, a rule. And if you're, for some reason, a teenager listening to this, first off, why? You know, like, what my channel's about, right? Like, it's a little weird, but okay. Secondly, if you are, like, and you're like, I haven't done anything like that, give it time. You will. We all do. Sometimes it goes well into our 20s. I was friends with a bunch of neckbeards. I once decided that I could drag race a 4-cylinder car. I almost wrecked it, by the way. Yeah. Don't do that, by the way. It's really stupid. Don't do that. Anyway, moving on. Saying all this here honestly scares me. I own up to what I did and feel genuine remorse, but I'm still scared that it could come back and destroy my life. I wish I could bury it deep down and move on. I'm scared of the judgment from others. It's so difficult to open up about all this. I apologize if it seems like I'm blowing this out of proportion, because honestly, I likely am. I just have a tendency to dwell on past mistakes. I'm working on it, though. You have the kind of perception that other people need to approve of certain things in order to make you feel like you're doing the right thing, but that's not really... it doesn't really matter. Look, I'll let you in a little secret about the universe. I know we're kind of going off on tangents a bit in this episode, but I'll let you in on a secret about the universe. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing at any given time. It's just nobody. It doesn't matter. I know it seems like it should matter. It doesn't. Nobody does. We're all just kind of grasping at straws and hoping that whatever crazy shit we come up with works. Science is like the only thing that does work, but a lot of times it's also random guesses. A lot of times it's like, what if we did this with this? And sometimes stuff comes out of it. Sometimes it completely fails, and that's also a thing, but it's okay. Nobody actually knows what's going on, and that's fine. It is just pure and utter chaos. Don't worry about what other people think. Like, they seriously don't matter. I do this for a living. I'm a literal trash fire, and that's okay. Like, fuck it, right? I mean, at least you're alive and you're enjoying yourself. That's the only part that matters. So just roll with it.
You stole a laptop when you were in high school.
What are you talking about? This bastard was playing a game of chess against me that I wasn't even aware of, and this piece of information had put me in check.
You stole a laptop?
No, what would have given you that idea?
Alright, tell me all about what you did. I know it's true. Wouldn't it be terrible if I dropped this to your employer about this?
Oh, you are just the worst little motherfucker, aren't you? How do you know Ray?
I did a bit of research.
You're a fucking creep. RB was straight up acting like a Bond villain. No longer some awkward and relatively harmless Beard. It was like a switch had flipped. Now he was Mr. Beard or Greasefinger. Ew. Fuck, yeah.
Unban me from your server. I'll tell your employer anywhere else I could about the laptop.
There's so many things I'd like to say, but I know I'm not allowed to say them on YouTube. But let's just say, you know that white hot ball of rage that sometimes happens in your favorite space uncle?
It's here. It's right fucking here.
I started shaking, seething with rage. This Beard was so quick to seek revenge and force his way back into my life with blackmail. My blood was boiling. I wanted to scream, cry, and sock the guy in the face next time I saw him. I can't. The admins did a vote and collectively decided it was the best to ban you.
But aren't you the owner? Can't you override a decision?
Just give me a moment. I had to be careful. The Beard could easily destroy my livelihood. If your employer really thinks that something you did in high school still matters, they're a shitty employer and you deserve a better job. I'm just saying. His unhygienic hands held pretty much all the cards. Make a new account, they'll ban you repeatedly if you use that one.
But by Nitro's description, get your staff under control.
Stop being a fucking creep and they won't have a problem with you. I'm sorry, that's just my interjection. I can't really do anything about that, sorry.
Fine, but because of this, if you don't want me to tell your work about what you did, then you need to compensate.
Oh, fuck. Alright, what is it? I didn't know what else to do. I had no real choice. Just say no and risk my job and any future job. If anybody, again, gives a fuck about what you did in high school, they're a shitty employer and you deserve better. I couldn't do that. How else would I pay for college? I'm already on the verge of going into debt. Though, to be fair, I was probably worrying too much at the time.
Go on a date with me.
Kill him.
Oh god, oh fuck. I'm demisexual and demi-romantic. Already I knew that this wouldn't work out. Not to mention, just the thought of going on a date with RB made me want to throw up. His comments from yesterday just screamed that he'd try and make physical advances on me. No.
Please?
Isn't there anything else I can do instead?
No, I just want you to go on a date with me. Just one. I hate him.
Did I really have a choice? If I said no, then he'd ruin my life. Quite the predicament I was in. Fine, what day, where, and what time?
Tomorrow at this restaurant at 6:30.
Alright, I guess I'll see you there.
Yeah, see you then, cutie.
You have the fucking audacity to blackmail someone. Because that's what this is. That is just straight up doing exactly that. and then act like it's oh so cute. We're gonna go on a date. I hate you. You're fucking filth. Moving on. I could only imagine how terribly this would go. I dreaded this date already. Maybe I could bail, fake being sick, anything to not have to go. Maybe it wouldn't be that bad. I could invite Taz to keep an eye on the situation and intervene if things got out of hand. You know, off to the side. RB had never met him in person, wouldn't suspect such a thing. I texted him. I'm in a bit of a situation with RB and I really need your help. I filled Taz in on what happened, and he was shocked. And a little frustrated that I let RB corner me like this. However, he seemed more than willing to help me out. Okay, I'm down. I'm always down. I'm not going to let anything happen if I can help it. I have an idea, though. I'll tell you more tomorrow. Okay. The rest of the day was as normal as it could be, all things considered. I finished up the JoJo Stone Ocean manga. Had a weird ending, but that's not related to this. All the while, RB sent creepy and suggestive messages to me every now and then. Of course he did. I would always respond with, okay, or cool. The fact that he could seemingly get me fired if he wanted was paralyzing. I couldn't take any risks. If anyone at your job actually believed what a random greasy neckbeard said that you did in high school several years ago is anything that you should actually be terminated over, fuck them and fuck their business. That is garbage. You're a fantastic person, and no one deserves this. Period.
What are you gonna wear to the date? Something cute?
Just wait and see, I guess. I wouldn't humor him. I wasn't going to wear anything special, just jeans, t-shirt, and a jacket. The next day was spent in a panic. When put on the spot and cornered, I have a tendency to overreact. My mind always has images of the worst possible scenario that could come from something. This date was no exception. Assault, kidnapping. Would he even try to do something? The last thing I wanted was to get drugged or some sort of date, can't say that word on YouTube, happening. What if he just told my boss regardless of whether I listened to him or not? That's when Taz texted me. So, I think you should lose the makeup and mask. Go full boy mode on RB. Tell him outright that you're trans. Why? I think it'll deter him. You sure? I have to be careful. One wrong move, my job's out the window. Forget that. I'll talk to our boss. She'll understand. What if she doesn't? I don't want to risk it. Fine. Enjoy being RB's object of affection. I'll see you in half an hour. Okay. See you. I felt like I was carrying so much on my shoulders. As if RB was trying to crush me with his weight. I was suffocating. 5:30 rolled around and Taz had arrived at the house. I was sitting on my bed, thoughts in a frenzy. Hey, you alright? Hanging in there. Hope I can find a way out of this. Yeah, me too. My friend noticed the Kindle sitting next to me and pointed to it, asked a question to change the subject from the date, which drew nearer with each passing second. What you reading? Final issue of Stone Ocean, over and over again. It makes sense, but at the same time it doesn't. We talked for a bit. I had completely forgotten about the date. The reminder on my phone snapped me back to reality as it went off. Right. Just as my mood was improving, I was dragged right back in the feeling of despair. I grabbed some clothes, and Taz and I drove to his place. I changed, and then off to the date with RB. You sure you don't want to try my idea? I'm sure it'll upset him. That's the last thing I want right now. Fuck that guy. Suit yourself. Taz shook his head and sighed as I parked the car. I'll sit a few tables away if I can. Should we have a sign or something if you want me to intervene? Alright, how about I pat my own shoulder 3 times? Cool. Thanks, by the way. I don't know what I'd do without you. I grabbed the door handle, not at all ready to get out and meet up with RB. I couldn't back out now, though. Felt like everything was on the line. It's not a problem, just helping a friend. Can I get your keys? Just in case. I stepped out, tossing the car keys to Taz at his suggestion, making a terrible joke. I'll wait in the car for a moment and come in a few minutes. I nodded and headed towards the restaurant doors. Into the fray. Stepping into the building, my head was on a swivel, searching for RB. He wasn't hard to find, sticking out like a sore, swollen thumb in a chair that looked far too small for him. He smiled creepily at me, and I had no choice but to approach. I couldn't leave now that he knew I was here. I sat at the table across from RB. Thank God he didn't call out to me. I don't think I can handle the feeling of everyone staring at me. Hi, babe. Glad you could make it. Yeah, good to see you, I guess. The way he looked at me, it was like I was a piece of meat. Somehow I knew he'd be that fucking foul. I'm not some steak for him to feast on, no siree. Why do you always wear that mask? I have a weak immune system and social distancing. I partially lied. Oh, should we go someplace else then, where there aren't as many people? No, I'm fine. I I'm not going to a more private area with this creep. Totally understandable and good.
Come on, you sure?
Yes, I am sure.
Okay.
I glanced out the window. Taz was walking towards the door. So, how do you know Ray?
We go to the same college.
Neat. I nodded, and there was an awkward but welcome silence between us for a moment. Now, you may be wondering who Ray is aside from somebody who went to school with me. Truth is, I don't really know him all that well. As soon as the waiter arrived at our table, asked us about drinks, I got water. RB asked for Mountain Dew. But the restaurant didn't have any, so he settled for Sierra Mist. Oh, the lesser Mountain Dew. They're both awful, by the way. Taz had taken a seat in a booth close by, and I hummed a little, staring off into space. It's not often that I get to hum. Spending so much time at home, my younger brother is like the sound police. Nobody can hum anywhere around or he'll get upset, but I digress.
Well, you're very musical, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
What song?
Great Days.
Like the days we'll spend together?
This motherfucker. No, just no. To be completely honest, any time I was with RB after this point was one step away from having a breakdown. Understandable. It was moments with him that made me wish that I had an excuse to go back to quarantine lockdown just to avoid him. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I flipped RB off under the table. I don't know why, I just did. I'm proud of you. The waiter returned. We ordered our food. While we wait, I quickly went to the bathroom. No reason except for, get away from him. Just a moment to breathe. I returned to find that our food was on the table. RB had already dug into his three-way, unable to keep his side of the table clean as he hungrily ate his meal, focusing so much on it. My order of chili dogs and a side of cheese sat there, looking surprisingly appetizing. I glanced over at Taz, then to the food, and then back at him, and he nodded. That was all the confirmation I needed to be sure that RB hadn't tampered with my food or drink. Off came the mask, and I quickly ate, wanting this date to be over as soon as possible.
Chili dogs, huh?
Yeah, I'd get some cheese conies with no onions, but usually they get my order wrong and put onions on them anyway. It's easier to order some chili dogs and just a side of cheese, and I know for sure there's no onions.
You don't like onions?
No, I don't like them. The rest of the meal was spent in silence, thank God. RB stared at me as I finished eating.
So are you paying?
Fucking dead. This motherfucker. Aren't we splitting the bill? I mean, I'll pay for mine if you pay for yours.
I didn't bring any money. I thought you were paying.
I am. For my own food. Not yours.
I thought you were paying.
The beard smirked at me. He knew he had me trapped with the blackmail.
Kill him now.
I sighed, pulling out my wallet and digging out the cash to pay up. Gotta do what you gotta do to keep your job and reputation, I guess. Again, if your job is actually going to take this shit seriously, it's not a good place to work. You can do better. After paying, RB offered to walk me out to my car. I tried to decline, but yet again, he played his blackmail card. Fucking bastard. I'm sorry, that's not in the story, that's just me. Taz carefully followed, waiting at the door for the restaurant and unlocking the car from there.
So, I'm running a tabletop game with some friends this Wednesday. Do you want to join?
No, thank you. I don't play tabletops.
I said, do you want to join? I'd accept the invitation if I were you.
Rip and tear until it is done.
Why this? I don't want to go to a tabletop game with RB and his friends. It seemed like an accident waiting to happen. I couldn't risk my job and future, though. I had no choice, really. I clenched my fist as I got in the car. Fine. Where's it going to be?
Oh, it's Ingress. I'm making a campaign based on the Ingress lore.
Sounds fun.
I'll help you make your character the day of the first session. We'll be meeting Wednesday night at my place.
Great. I'd be going into the nest. Just great. An unfamiliar place surrounded by people I don't know. Remember your taser, dear. Can I invite a friend? I'm refusing to go alone.
Sorry, no more slots open.
Can't they just watch?
It'll be a distraction.
Guess I had to go alone. Fine.
See you then, cutie.
RB walked off towards the bus stop. Fucking fuck. I slapped the outer ring of my steering wheel in frustration. I hated this, being cornered like this by RB. By my own past actions, no less. The date might have gone alright. I wasn't drugged or assaulted or anything. However, the beard had roped me into something I wanted no part of. I knew I couldn't reject the invitation. He'd ruined my life. I was scared, so I didn't know what else to do. Taz gets in the passenger seat, tossing me the keys. You okay? Yeah, fine. Of course not. The bastard has me cornered from all sides. Calm down, what'd he do? He just kept telling me that he intended to use what he knew as much as he could. I lied to Taz. I lied to one of my best friends. It hurt. I couldn't tell him about the tabletop game. That I would be alone. I knew that he would keep me from going, but if I didn't, it was over. I firmly believed I'd lose my job, and any hopes to get another would likely be gone. I couldn't do anything to break free from RB. And this is where I'm ending this part. Seems like a pretty good stopping point for now. I apologize if my writing seemed a bit different. Truth be told, this part left me mentally drained. Totally understandable. I have a hard time keeping it together at times when I recount the extent that RB had exploited and blackmailed me. All the ways he used it to get me to do what he wanted. Anyway, I'll see you in the next part. So I don't know how many other people are reading this story. I know my good friend there, Red X, is doing this. Hey, bud. And I'm very glad that a lot of people are, able to hear your story, Ada, and that you're able to get this out. I don't know how many other people react, because I know the YouTube thing where it's like, this is bad, and I'll tell you how it is bad. But let me tell you the beautiful thing about being a part of this community, which I know you recently joined our Discord server, is anybody can tell you that when it comes to stuff like this, I'm not the kind of person who'll be like, whoa, that's crazy. Next time on YouTube, no, this guy is fucking scum. This guy is filth. That is absolutely the most disgusting shit I've ever heard, and I'm sure it's about to get worse. I hate this motherfucker, and I've never even met him. Oh, that is some extra level fucking creep. That is some unbelievable evil. I realize that you're not the kind of person like your wonderful space uncle here. And I realize that a lot of my advice is probably not good advice. But it would have been very hard for me in that exact same situation not to ball up my fist and break his fucking jaw right there in the parking lot. Not to lay this motherfucker out. You want to try and blackmail me? Try to do it without any fucking teeth. This guy is fucking scum. I've said that over and over, but it's still fucking true. Fuck him. RB can go fuck himself. But even then, I don't think it'd work. He can't get that lucky. What an absolute piece of shit. Whatever minor, feelings we had at the beginning of this story, whatever, like, oh, well, he's just an awkward guy, that's fucking gone. That's fucking gone, and now I see his true colors. Fuck this little sociopath piece of shit. Fuck his manipulative bullshit. Fuck his little puppy dog ways. I don't have any friends. Yeah, I fucking wonder why. I wonder why nobody wants to play Ingress with you. Honestly, I'm surprised there isn't a way that people could put a red ring around your ass and track you where the fuck you go, you scummy little piece of shit. Blackmailing a motherfucker, knowing that you're going to make this person's life bad, knowing that, and still doing this because I think they're cute. Fuck you. The only way you should continue to play Ingress RB is if you take that nice little smartphone of yours and jam it right up your fucking ass. I'm sorry, I got really fucking angry. I'm kind of pissed off, can you tell? Ada, again, I said this throughout the video. If the laptop thing's the worst thing that you've ever done, honey, you haven't done anything. It's nothing. Kids make bad decisions. It's what we do. And yeah, I realize, high school, teenagers, whatever, you're still a kid. It's one of those things you realize as you get older. I'm a grown man, and I'm forever looking back at people who are in their 20s being like, I'm an adult. It's like, yeah, well, not yet. Wait until the weird shit hits. It's not until things stop working that you start realizing, I didn't know a fucking thing. It's a magical world, growing up. And by magical, I mean an actual fucking nightmare. Don't do it. But honestly, to me, you're a wonderful person. You've done nothing that would make me think otherwise. And again, this whole thing of I took a laptop and that's the thing that haunts me. I'll tell you a story to make it even. I know a lot of people don't do this shit, but I'll tell you a story to make it even. When I was younger, I'd say around the same age that you were with this whole laptop thing, my friends and I, well, we used to roam around downtown in the old town I used to live in. It's a small city, but it's much bigger now. There was an old Walmart building. They just built like a mega super, whatever you call a big one, and they just left the old store. Well, The old store also had, like, light bulbs and no security. And we found a small stash of rocks and broke every single one of those fucking light bulbs. Mainly because we thought it was funny. And, yeah, that was the kind of shit we used to do. We used to hang out at a construction site because the crews would be gone by the time we get off of school. So we would just kind of hang out there. You know, the more and more I look back on it, the more I realize that I may have actually grown up in the entire Peach Creek community of Ed, Edd and Eddy. I wonder which one I am. But either way, yeah, the laptop is nothing. I've always been a horrible little delinquent, and I just grew up into a right proper unicorn criminal. The way God intended. So, don't worry about anything. This, again, if your employer is the kind of person who'll get mad at you over something like that, fuck them, they ain't worth working for. You're a fantastic person, and nobody can ever take that away from you. And if anybody tries, punch them in the fucking face. Again, probably not the best of advice, but I ain't a good uncle. I'm a space uncle, which means I'm the best. So, you know, there it is. I hope that you're doing okay. And if you ever need to talk, you know we're always around. I'm usually there too, if you want to talk to me directly. Might be weird, just because I'm weird, but you know, you can do it. Anyway, I love you, all of you. And if you're ever in a situation with a creep like this motherfucker crawling down your neck, don't be afraid to tell somebody. Get some help. The thing is, they expect you not to talk. So when you counter that with a literal squad to back you up, they're fucked. I'll tell everybody. They already know, fucker. What are you gonna do now? Sit the fuck down. That's what you're gonna do. Shut him down like the bitch he is. Period. You guys be careful out there. Sometimes we talk about how weird and funny the creepy neckbeards can be, but sometimes they are like this motherfucker and just plain evil. In which case, sometimes you just gotta let a motherfucker down, you know what I'm saying? So, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Make sure you check out all the links to do the YouTube thing or whatever. Just be careful, alright? Goodbye, everybody.